仮面の英雄、バットマン。
At the chemical plant, a black clothing and gas mask figure sneaks to the entry's door. There he gathers chemicals that have steroids to insert them into his tubes, making his strength 1,000,000 times stronger than a normal citizen. Now in his muscular state as he confronts the workers of the factory and easily breaks their backs, the figure exits the building to continue the plan that Kamen has tasked him for. Unfortunately, the figure blocks himself from a missile, revealing to be the Batfighter in the sky. As Batman jumps out of the aircraft in autopilot to confront that figure known as Subject Number 23, Bane, who reveals the reason he stole the steroid chemicals to make him stronger is to create an earthquake and fissure in Japan as well as every country on Earth, separating those lands to a complete ruin at a higher magnitude. Batman fights Bane to prevent the operation, however due to his damaged suit that still has burns from Firefly's attack, he gets brutally beaten by Bane who breaks Batman's back physically, making him unconscious. Bane then leaves, laughing that the masked hero will be dead soon, to continue the mission of gathering more steroids.
地震阻止作戦。凶暴なベインを止めろ。
The following day, Yoki wakes up in his bedroom where he is recovering from his wounds, as Shoko comes in that his batsuit got destroyed as a result of Firefly's flames, and Dr. Kaito Sagra came for a visit to check it out and planned on doing remodels for the suit, but it's going to take a long time. This causes anxiety for Yuki that no one would go up against Bane due to his physical strength, and that it'll be too late for Earth to be saved. But Shoko tells him that power doesn't come from the strength, but from the heart, meaning that Yuki's power is to avenge his parents that he loved so much from the bottom of his heart, as those couple would tell their son to not give up, as this makes Yuki better and waits for Kaido to complete the modified suit. Back in the secret base, despite being proud of the masked hero's defeat, Chrono accuses Bane on wasting those steroids while at the plant that causes him to go back into his depowered state and also not taking away the bat buckle from Batman, as Bane answers that he's just putting on a show for the workers and the hero to die by his strength. Chrono warns him to never waste other steroid chemicals that he needs to gather to obtain more strength like 1,000,000,000 times to make the operation a success. Back in his mansion while still recovering, Yuki researches on his computer about the back-breaking move that remind Yuki of someone with that kind of physical strength he saw on news in the past, finding out to be Bandakia, Japan's most wanted criminal who have a record of criminal activities and numerous prison escapes due to his muscular power. He was never seen again after another escape that became a success, and believed that the Black Mask Army did this after seeing Ban's actions that made Chrono impressed enough to recruit him as a non-brainwashed mutant Cajun. Back outside at another chemical plant, Bane sneaks inside to steal lots of chemical steroids while the mooks deal with the workers. Being warned about wasting them again, Bane puts those steroids inside a backpack until getting the last steroids at another plant by tonight, which will be the time to perform the operation. Back inside the mansion, Yoki is all healed up from his wounds as Kaido arrives to tell him that he completely remodeled the suit with new modifications. However, he didn't work on it alone because he got help from someone that Yuki might know from his first adventure as Batman, as that person comes in to be Wataru Komori, the first mutant that Yuki saved from the first episode. Wataru explains that after learning about who Batman is from one of his battles, Wataru helped a struggling Kaido on remodeling the suit under the former's idea since he's an expert on bats, as he did this to express his gratitude towards Yuki for saving him from the mutant DNA he had as Man-Bat. Not only that, Wataru also created a new weapon for Yuki to use called the Battoman, drawn sword in Japanese or bat sword, which also acts as another transformation device for him to use while still wielding the bat buckle. Yuki thanks both Kaido and Wataru for the modification and weapon as he tries those out, transforming by putting on the buckle and then pulling out the Battoman that was attached to the belt, to raise in the air, shouting Bat Rise, getting into a fully black-suited Batman remodeled costume, making Yuki and the three amazed by this, as the former decides to go by the name Batman Knight. Just then, Shoko informs him that Bane has invaded another chemical plant as the third and final one before the operation, wanting to use this new stuff on Bane. Batman heads to that plant in the Batfighter. Bane has gathered all of the steroid chemicals which powers him up back into his muscular state, allowing him to perform the operation creating a fissure, however was stopped by Batman who reintroduces himself as Batman Knight, seeing the form as nothing and warns him to prepare for another back break. Bane and the Mooks attack the new form of Batman, who easily beats them up with the Batican that also allows him to cut off the tubes, releasing out the chemicals that changes Bane back into his depowered state, as he gets weakened and purified by the grappling phone, releasing the mutant blood out of his heart to turn back into Bane, who easily gets handcuffed by Batman for the police to take him away under a serious escape prevention watch. Yoki returns to the mansion and tells both Shoko, Kaido, and Wataru that he will continue to use these new powers from his heart against the army. Back in the streets, Haruko and Tsuji are walking on the sidewalk just until the latter turns her head back, feeling that someone's watching her, finding out to be a white-faced monster that gives her a scream. Haruko asks what's wrong, but when Tsuji tells her what she saw, that figure disappears in a quick second as Haruka tells her she must have imagined things. The two continue their walk as the white-faced monster from the alley sees TV screens from another sidewalk about Batman's new look. At the end, that monster says that he will be glad to meet with that president again and first time as Batman, saying he will put a smile on the hero's face to die for. Batman confronts the white-faced monster who he fought before becoming the hero. However, that mutant's identity will be a shocking moment, and that Haruko has been searching for that monster to be related to someone that she lost.
ジョーカー最後の笑いの記憶。